Horses don't usually get obsessed with cats, but mine does. When we first saw him nibble at the cat, we laughed for like 50 minutes. He may be 1,000 pounds, but to the cats, he's just a big affectionate friend. Nairobi would lay his head in their space like, "Hi, I'm here."
Hey.
It's so sweet because at first he was really by himself. I actually met him through a friend of mine. I wasn't really looking for a horse.
Oh.
But she said the owner is looking for someone who wants to care for him because she doesn't have the time. So I went there and I was like, okay, yeah, let's try it. Turned out he had a very rough start. Nairobi's mom rejected him the day he was born. And I think it really left marks. At first he was more like, I don't really trust you. He was a bit shy, I think. He had explosive reactions to everything. When something small happened, he could just explode. He would start running for 10-15 minutes. That wasn't something I was used to working with horses. But I really wanted it to work out. I felt myself getting really attached to him. So I would start singing or talking to him so he gets a bit calmer. And then after a few months, the woman who had him said, "If you want to own him, I want to gift him to you." I was super excited because that was like a dream come true to have my first very own horse. But I knew he needed some work at first. When I started working with him, he wouldn't do anything. And every obstacle, he just followed me. And he had a weird walk. I saw he really had a hard time with some stuff. He would try and turn around. So after a few weeks, I decided I don't want to live in uncertainty anymore. So we did a lot of tests, and at the end, they said he has OCDs in his hocks. Surgery changed a lot of things. But it was really hard for me to see him like that because he was really angry. And I think afterwards he realized he's making this decision for me instead of against me. And when we started bonding, I realized he's so sweet and so willing to work. I really saw him for who he was, really curious, really open. He just loves to check everything out. And he has this thing when you put your hand up to his nose, he's pushing it. At first I was like, that's pretty weird. But then I realized he does it with people he really likes. It's his way of showing affection.
Hi.
He's very spirited and he has a lot of energy. Sometimes he just needs to let his energy out.
Okay.
So I just let him go in the paddock and then he runs around. And every time when he bucks, he makes like a dolphin sound because he's so happy. I would definitely call him an unusual horse because he's so expressive. I never really met a horse with such clear facial expressions. You're crazy. When he's not happy, he will just put his ears a bit back or he will just roll his eyes. It's very funny. And even though he changed so much, there was still something that worried me. He was very on his own. He also has a harder time bonding with horses. We have a lovely herd with animals, but he would just be in his stable or standing at the back of the field. He misses some social cues and ways with older horses because he didn't get them from his mom.
Nou.
He doesn't really have a best friend like the other horses have.
Is lekker, hè? Ja.
For me, that was really hard to see him so lonely. But then I started noticing something special. We have 13 cats at the barn. They can go in and out of the stables. And I always let Nairobi walk around stables freely. He was sniffing at the stable. I'm like, hey, I want to be friends. But kittens were very small and tiny, so they were a bit scared of him. They would just run off. And after a few months, they grew older, so they were more curious. There were a lot of times where he was just eating hay and the cats were sitting beside him and just looking at him. Sometimes the cats were in a playful mood and they would start playing with his tail and just walking around him. I was always scared, like, oh my gosh, I hope Nairobi just stays in his place.
Do not scare the kitty.
But his behavior with the cats really surprised me. He would just present himself. So put his head in a place close to them, but not really in their space. So they could just take a look at him. And then when they are okay, he will start smelling them. He also starts nibbling at the cats, like small horse kisses. He actively seeks them out. There's one video where you really see his eyes like, oh my gosh, do you see this cat? I really think he feels like a dad towards the cats because he's very gentle with them. But I still always make sure he's supervised with the cats. His favorite cat is Dumbo. He really likes to nibble him because he is so fluffy, and I think Nairobi really likes the feel of the fur. I've been around horses for 15 years now, and I think 50% of his behavior was like totally new for me. Nairobi had a very rough start, and now he is more confident in his ways. He doesn't only see himself as a cat dad, but as a dad for all animals, also the dogs and the sheep. I think that's the biggest change. And he's never been happier.